2 million views. That's how many people watched my niece Ava turn her phone toward me during Thanksgiving dinner and say, "This is my Aunt Eleanor. She's literally the poorest person in our entire family. Just look at what she's wearing. I'm pretty sure that sweater came from Walmart. Probably from the clearance rack. Total sad Wynant vibes." The comment section was ruthless. "Why does she look like a substitute teacher?" Someone start a GoFundMe for the aunt. The way she's just sitting there, completely unaware she's being dragged online. Ava even pinned her favorite comment at the top. POV. Your family's disappointment shows up to dinner dressed in outlet mall reality. I watched the video 3 times, not because it hurt, but because I was thinking. Drop a comment and tell me where you're listening from and what time it is for you right now. I love knowing who's part of our Justice After Dark community. My name is Eleanor Price. I'm 52 years old. I drive a Honda Accord I've owned for 11 years. I buy my clothes wherever I find good quality at fair prices. Sometimes that's Walmart. Sometimes it's a small boutique in Milan. I don't post my life online. I don't wear flashy jewelry. I don't feel the need to announce myself when I enter a room. What I do have is a private equity firm I started 23 years ago. Today, it manages $892 million in assets. I also own a real estate portfolio valued around $34 million, an art collection appraised at $12 million, and a beach house in Malibu I bought back in 2008 when the market collapsed. But my family doesn't know any of that. To them, I'm just Aunt Eleanor, the quiet one, the unmarried one, the one who works in investments, but must not be very successful because look at how she dresses. Look at her modest car. Look at how she brings a store-bought pie to Thanksgiving instead of hearing a caterer like Ava's mother, my sister-in-law Lauren. And I let them believe it. For 20 years, I let them believe it. Because when my brother Daniel married Lauren, I immediately understood who she was. She judged everything by brand names. She calculated human value by the car you drove, the bag on your arm, and the zip code you lived in. And I watched her raise Ava to think the exact same way. So I made a choice. I would help Ava anyway, not because she earned it, but because she was my brother's daughter. I created a trust fund the day she was born. I added to it every year quietly through a family foundation that kept my name completely hidden. By the time she turned 18, the account had grown to $1.8 million. But I wasn't naive. That trust came with rules, very clear, very deliberate rules. The money was scheduled to be released on her 21st birthday, but only if she satisfied the character standards spelled out in Section 4. The beneficiary was required to show a consistent pattern of integrity, kindness, and basic respect toward others. Any public behavior found to be significantly inconsistent with those values, as judged by the trustee, could trigger a partial or total loss of the trust. The trustee was my attorney, Michael Rowe. Michael had been with me since the day I launched my firm. He was precise, principled, and completely devoid of humor. He also happened to be on TikTok, not by choice, but because his teenage grandson had taught him how to use it. Michael called me the morning after Thanksgiving. "Eleanor," he said, his tone perfectly neutral. "Have you seen your niece's video?" "I have." "It's reached 2 million views," he continued. "She's publicly humiliating the benefactor of her trust fund without realizing it. The comment section is toxic. Worse, she's engaging with it, encouraging it." He paused before adding, "She posted another video this morning. She ranked family members by estimated net worth. You were placed last." I poured myself a cup of coffee. "What's your assessment, Michael?" Section 4 is unambiguous, he replied. This constitutes a material violation of the character clause. The conduct is public, recorded, and ongoing. She isn't just being unkind, she's profiting from it. She's building a personal brand around belittling people she considers inferior. Her 21st birthday is in 2 weeks. I'm aware, I said. If you wish to invoke the forfeiture provision, he continued, I'll need written authorization. The assets will then be redirected per the secondary beneficiary instructions. The secondary beneficiary was a scholarship fund for first-generation college students. I had created it as a fallback, hoping I'd never actually need it. Send me the paperwork, I said. I signed it that afternoon. The forfeiture was finalized. Ava's $1.8 million trust fund was gone. She just didn't know it yet. Her 21st birthday celebration was exactly what you'd expect. Lauren had rented out a rooftop venue downtown. There were ice sculptures, a DJ, a step-and-repeat banner featuring Ava's face, and a theme that read, "Finally legal to be this fabulous." The guest list was 200 people, most of whom Ava had never met, but all of whom had enough followers to boost her engagement. I arrived wearing a simple black dress, no jewelry, flat shoes. Lauren looked at me as if I'd shown up wrapped in trash bags. "Eleanor," she said, leaning in for an air kiss that never actually landed. "So glad you could make it. I know these kinds of events aren't really your thing." "I wouldn't miss it," I said. The party was already in full motion when Ava stepped up to the microphone. She was wearing a custom designer gown that cost more than most people's monthly rent. Her hair and makeup were professionally styled. She looked exactly like an influencer at a launch event, which, in a way, she was. The product was herself. "Thank you all so much for being here," she said, flashing a flawless smile at the crowd. "This is literally the best night of my life. I'm officially 21, which means I can finally access my trust fund." She laughed. "Shout out to whoever set that up. I'm about to be extremely irresponsible with that money." The crowd laughed along with her. I didn't. Lauren tapped her champagne glass with a spoon. "Actually, sweetheart," she said brightly, "we have a very special surprise for you. The trust fund administrator is here tonight to present your official documents. It's a family tradition." She gestured toward the edge of the room. Standing there was Michael Rowan, dressed in his usual gray suit, holding a leather portfolio. Ava squealed. "Oh my God, is this really happening right now?" She turned to the crowd. "Someone film this." Several phones instantly went up. The moment was being recorded from every possible angle. "Perfect." Michael walked to the center of the room. He didn't smile. He never did. He opened the portfolio and cleared his throat. "Miss Ava Price," he began. "I am Michael Rowan, trustee of the Price Family Educational Trust, established on the date of your birth for the purpose of providing financial resources upon your 21st birthday." Ava was practically bouncing in place. "So how much is it?" she blurted out. "My mom said it was a lot." "The original value of the trust," Michael said evenly, "was $1.8 million. The crowd gasped. Ava's eyes widened. Lauren was already wiping away happy tears. "However," Michael continued, and the word fell heavy in the air, "pursuant to Section 4 of the Trust Agreement, which outlines character-based requirements for distribution, the trust has undergone a forfeiture review." The room fell silent. Ava's smile faltered. "On November 24th of this year," Michael said, "you posted a video on the social media platform TikTok in which you publicly mocked and humiliated a family member. specifically, the individual who established and funded this trust. He paused. The video accumulated over 2 million views. You then posted additional content continuing this behavior and actively engaged with commenters who amplified the cruelty. Ava's face drained of color. "Wait, what?" she said. "Who funded the trust?" Michael lifted his gaze. He looked directly at me. Every head in the room turned. "Your Aunt Eleanor," he said. "She has been the sole contributor to this trust since your birth. Every dollar in that account came from her." The silence was complete. I could hear ice cracking in someone's glass. Lauren stepped forward, her expression twisted in disbelief. "That's not possible," she said. "Eleanor doesn't have that kind of money. She drives a Honda." "She wears Walmart clothes," I added calmly. Michael continued, completely unaffected by the tension in the room. "As trustee," he said, "I have determined that Miss Ava Price's actions constitute a material violation of the character clause. As a result, the trust has been formally dissolved. The funds have been redirected to the secondary beneficiary, a scholarship program for first-generation college students." Ava's phone slipped from her fingers and hit the floor with a sharp crack. "No, no, no, no," she whispered. "This isn't happening." She looked up at me, panic flooding her face. "Aunt Eleanor, please, I didn't know. I was just making content. It was a joke. Everyone does this. Please, you can't do this to me." I walked toward her slowly. The crowd parted instinctively, like I was cutting through water. I stopped a few feet away, close enough that only she could hear me clearly. "You called me the poor relative," I said quietly. "You made a video mocking my clothes, my car, my life. You ranked me at the bottom of our family. 2 million people watched you humiliate me for entertainment, and you pinned the cruelest comment to the top of your page." Tears streamed down her face, streaking the makeup that had been professionally applied just hours earlier. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry. Please, Aunt Eleanor, I'll delete everything. I'll apologize publicly. I'll do whatever you want." "The trust was meant to help you build a future," I said evenly. "But nothing lasting can be built on cruelty. You can't treat people like content and expect to be trusted with responsibility." I held her gaze. "The money is gone, Ava. Not because I'm punishing you, but because you showed me exactly who you are, and I believe you." Lauren suddenly grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. "You can't do this," she hissed. "That money was for her future. You're destroying her life over one stupid video." I removed her hand, gently but firmly. "I didn't destroy anything, Lauren," I said. "I funded her entire life. Her prep school, the private tutors, the car you gave her on her 16th birthday, the apartment you co-signed. All of it," I continued, "came from grants and scholarships I provided anonymously." The room was completely still. "I did it because she was my niece," I said, "and because I hoped she'd grow into someone worth investing in." I looked around at the 200 guests, many of whom were still holding up their phones, still recording. "She made a video calling me poor to 2 million strangers," I said calmly. "Tonight, 2 million more will learn that the poor aunt was worth more than everyone in this room combined." I paused. "That isn't revenge," I said. "That's just the truth finally catching up." I turned to leave. That's when my brother Daniel, who had been standing frozen near the bar all night, finally spoke. "Eleanor, wait," Daniel called out. I didn't know. I swear I had no idea about any of this. I stopped walking, but I didn't turn around. "You didn't need to know about the money," I said quietly. "You knew how they treated me, Daniel. Every holiday, every family dinner. For 20 years, you watched your wife and your daughter mock me, and you never said a word. I paused. You didn't need financial details to recognize that what they were doing was wrong. Then I walked out of the rooftop venue and into the cold December night. Behind me, I could hear Ava sobbing, Lauren yelling at Michael, and the low, stunned murmur of 200 guests who had just witnessed what would later be called the most expensive TikTok failure in history. The footage from the party went viral the very next day. Not Ava's carefully edited content, but the videos posted by her guests, the raw ones, the clips showing her face at the exact moment she learned the truth. The moment she realized that the woman she had mocked as a sad, broke aunt had been her secret benefactor all along. The internet, which had laughed at me just a week earlier, turned on her instantly. Imagine losing $1.8 million for clout. The poor aunt was the rich aunt the whole time. She really said Walmart clothes to a multi-millionaire. I can't breathe. Within 48 hours, Ava deleted every one of her social media accounts. Lauren stopped posting altogether. Daniel sent me a handwritten letter apologizing for everything. I haven't replied yet. Some wounds need time before you know whether they're capable of healing at all. The scholarship fund received the $1.8 million on December 15th. Next year, it will fully fund college for 14 students who worked hard, who showed integrity, and who understand that how you treat people matters far more than how you present yourself. I'm sitting in my living room now, wearing a sweater that cost $47 from a store Ava would never walk into. It's soft. It's warm. It's exactly what I need. I don't dress to impress people who measure human value by brand names. I dress for myself. I live for myself. And I give to people who understand that kindness is not weakness, and humility is not the same thing as poverty. Ava thought she was exposing me. She believed she was revealing who I really was to the world. She was right, just not in the way she expected. If you've ever been underestimated by people who confuse silence with weakness, take a moment to reflect on this story here on Justice After Dark. And remember this: the people who mock you for standing quietly in the background may be standing on ground you built,